Yeah, hello. Good day to you. Today we shall look at the very important topic called Concord, or you may say agreement of verbs, because Concord means agreement of verbs. But then what is the comprehensive definition of Concord? Here it is. Concord refers to the agreement between a subject and verb, as well as pronoun and its antecedent. Between a subject and a verb, and a pronoun and its antecedents. It means that in every sentence in English language, the subject has to relate or agree with its verb numerically. I mean in terms of numbers, most especially. If the subject is one, then you may look for a verb form which applies to one subject. If the subjects are more, many, then you may need a verb form that applies to such. But then there are rules of Concord. To help you understand Concord well, we need to examine the rules of Concord. Yeah, rules of Concord. The first rule of Concord, not necessarily the first, there are many rules of Concord. We shall try to condense these rules into 5. But most usually, this is the first rule. A singular subject takes a singular verb, and a plural subject takes a plural verb. Let me write this in full. A plural subject takes a plural verb. Example is 1. Ayo likes to sleep. Ayo here refers to how many people? 1. Ayo is one human being. And so the verb that should come, the corresponding verb that should apply to Ayo, who is one person, should be in singular form. Ayo likes to sleep. Likes here is singular, and that is why it fits in with Ayo. But then you may wonder why it's likes singular. In English language, to make a word singular in some cases requires you to add s. So the word like as a verb is in plural form. To make it singular, you put s in front, just like the word sleep. It's in plural form. To make it singular, you put s in front. The word walk is in plural form. To make it singular, you add s in front. So the most common way of making words, verbs, sound singular is by adding s in front of the words. So Ayo likes to sleep. Likes is singular, Ayo is singular, so this is a pass. If you say Ayo like to sleep, you will be wrong. There will be discord in that sentence. Another example is the boy works hard. The boy works hard. Similarly, works is singular. Of course, the boy is singular. Boy, one. Boy works hard. There's an agreement because a singular subject is being followed or accompanied by a singular verb. Correct. Thirdly, the soldier is talking. The soldier is talking. Is here. Of course, it's singular. What is the plural form of is? Is singular, is plural. So because soldier refers to one person, you accompany it with A singular is the soldier is talking. My last example here, I have 2 bags. Whenever you use the word I, even though the word have is used in many cases to relate to plural subjects, but it does not apply when I comes to play. If you have a subject I, the rule in English is that it has to be accompanied by have. In this case, have functions as singular. I have 2 bags. It will be offensive to say I has 2 bags. That would be wrong. So I have 2 bags, correct. They have 2 bags. But we'll get to that point. Now, the plural form of verbs or examples of this first rule are here. The students crave for biscuits. The word crave means desire. It is a strong yearning for something. It's a strong desire. It means you want that thing badly. The students, but then students here, which is our subject, is in plural form because of the S. Students, meaning more than one, perhaps many students. Students crave. You can't add S. If you add S in front of crave, it becomes singular, and you cannot have a singular verb after a plural subject. It will be discord or discordant. So the students crave for biscuits. This is plural and this is plural. So it conforms with our rule, and so it is correct. Mothers are amazing. The word mothers is in plural. Mothers, it means my mother, your mother, all mothers in this world are amazing. You cannot say mothers is amazing. You can't say that. Mothers are amazing. Mothers is plural, are is plural. Amazing. Computers are excellent. Same thing. Computers plural are plural excellent. They come here every day. They is plural. So come should be the accompanying verb. They come. You cannot say they comes. So similarly, you may have I have, she has. In the case of she is singular. You cannot say she have 2 biscuits. No. That is accompanying a singular noun with a plural verb. She have. No, she has. He has. We have. They have. Correct. Now, let us move to the second rule of Concord. When 2 or more singular subjects are joined by and, a plural verb is used. A plural verb is used. So, examples are John and Tony are good boys. John and Tony are good boys. You can see that here you have first subject, John, and second subject, Tony. And we are saying John and Tony, meaning both of them. The corresponding verb should be are, because John plus Tony equals 2. So 2 are good boys. That is what the rule says. When 2 singular subjects are joined by and, the corresponding verb should be in plural. Secondly, chemistry and physics. Chemistry is 1, physics is 1. Are awesome subjects. Chemistry and physics are awesome subjects. It means what we're saying here is chemistry plus physics equals 2. The corresponding verb should be in plural form. Now moving on. There are exceptions to the second rule of Concord. The first exception is this. By exceptions, I mean there are some cases where we don't have to follow the rules expressly. And this is one of such cases. When the two subjects connected by and refer to the same person, a singular verb is used. What we mean here is when the two subjects in a sentence are talking about the same person, then it is one person that is involved. You use a singular verb. Example is this. My brother and mentor is here. My brother and mentor. What this sentence implies is that my brother is the same person who is my mentor. We're not talking about a different person here. We're talking about the same person who is my brother. That same person is still my mentor. The corresponding verb in this case should be singular, because my brother and mentor are the same individual. Moving on. When you say bread and butter, you're referring to one food, because the butter is inside the bread. Bread and butter is a meal. It refers to the same thing. So you cannot say bread and butter are wonderful. No. It is bread and butter is wonderful. Is a wonderful meal. There's a second exception to this second rule. It is when indefinite pronouns, every and each, are used with the two singular subjects connected by and, a singular verb follows. Mark these two words. They are called indefinite pronouns. When they are used in a sentence, it therefore means that every part of the subject stands on its own. Each entity stands on its own. When we say each boy and girl is expected to work hard, each boy and girl is expected to work hard. What this sentence means is that it's either each entity stands alone. Each boy and girl, meaning the boy is expected to work hard, the girl is expected to work hard. It does not take a plural verb. Each entity stands on its own. When we have every, it works the same way as each. Every mother and father. It means there are many mothers and fathers, many. But each individual has a role to play. Of course, has is a singular verb. Has is a singular verb. But it comes to play here because the sentence focuses on the individual father or mother. So when you hear the word every, it doesn't mean a collection. It doesn't mean, and that's why when you hear everybody, the corresponding verb is not are. You cannot say everybody are fine or everybody are okay. It will be wrong. It is everybody is okay. Even though everybody tends to connote a large picture, it is focused on the basis of each individual standing as an entity. So every mother and father has a role to play. It must take a corresponding singular verb. Now let us look at the third rule of Concord. That rule is when two or more singular subjects are joined by neither nor, either or, not only but, a singular verb is used. So when you see a sentence that uses this, to join two singular subjects together, the corresponding verb is singular. First example is this: neither Ibrahim nor Nnamdi qualifies for the job. By the way, whenever you use the word neither, you should know that it goes with no, N-O-R. You cannot say neither and use or. Neither BC nor Ade, neither Ungozi or. You can't use or. Whenever neither is used, remember, no is what comes up. So neither Ibrahim nor Nnamdi qualifies for the job. You can see that there are two people here, Ibrahim nor Nnamdi. But what neither means is that none of them. That is what neither means. None of them. Neither is similar, it's more or less like the same to none of them. So what we're saying here is that none of these two people, Ibrahim and Nnamdi, none of them qualifies for the job. So qualifies here is singular. Because we're talking about what does not even amount to one. People that don't amount to one. Neither of them qualifies for the job. So secondly, either means one of the two. Either means one person. Of the two entities that you have, only one is what either refers to. And either is always followed by or. So whenever you hear either, you must see or. And when you hear neither, you must see no. So either the father or the mother cooks for the family. Because what this sentence is implying is that it is either the father cooks or the mother cooks. One of them does the cooking. So a singular verb is what comes up. The third example here is not Kunle but Bisi. Even though there are two names here, the focus is on Bisi because we've said it is not Kunle. Not Kunle means to strike this out, but Bisi. So Bisi determines what comes up next. Bisi was responsible for the theft. What the sentence implies is that Kunle is innocent. Bisi was responsible for the theft. Moving on. There's an exception rather to this third rule. And that exception is if one of the subjects is plural. If there are two subjects in a sentence of this nature, and then one is plural, then you invoke the rule of proximity. Proximity applies. And what does proximity mean? Proximity means nearness. Nearness. So the nearer subject to the verb is what determines whether the verb is singular or plural. Let's look at the examples. Neither Tony nor his sisters were here yesterday. Listen closely again. Neither Tony, it means not Tony nor the sisters. But then, Tony is singular. Sisters is what? Plural. And the rule says if one of the subjects is plural, and of course one here is plural, the rule of proximity must be applied. And the rule of proximity says the subject which is closer to the verb determines the nature of the verb, whether it is plural or singular. And so since sisters here is plural, the corresponding verb should be in plural form. And so we have chosen were. Sisters were here yesterday. Correct. But you cannot say sisters was here yesterday. That will be wrong. Second example, either the president or his advisors are to blame for the current misfortune. Either the president here is singular, advisors plural. Either this, it means the president is to blame or the advisors are to blame. Applying the rule of proximity, which is closer to the verb. I know you know. Of course, advisors is closer. The word advisors is closer to the verb. So what does, if advisors here is in plural form, what should the verb be? The verb should also be in plural form, and are is correct. Either the president or his advisors are to blame. Thirdly, not the boys, but the security man was the thief. It means the thief was not the boys, but the security man. Not the boys, but the security man was the thief. Boys here is plural, security man here is singular, and so singular determines the verb here, which is also singular, and that's correct. Now, let us look at the first rule. When a singular subject is connected to other subjects, whether singular or plural, by as well as, including, with, together with, along with, in addition to a singular verb, is used. So when you have a subject, a singular subject, and then you have words like this or phrases like this, including, together with, along with, that introduce additional subjects. Whether those subjects they introduce are singular or plural, it doesn't matter. The corresponding verb should be in singular form. Example is this: the soldier, together with his children, dash coming. I intentionally did not put the answer. I want you to try following the rule. What do you think is the answer? You can pause the video and try to answer yourself before I come up. Now, what is the answer? The soldier is singular. You may as well put a comma after the soldier. Together with his children. Let's say we put another comma. What this rule says is that whenever you hear additional subjects introduced by words like this, together with, in addition, including, you should disregard the additional subjects and focus on only the primary subject, which is the soldier. So if you remove this part of the sentence, what you get is the soldier dash coming. What then becomes your answer? The soldier is coming. The soldier is coming. Even though this part of the sentence exists, it doesn't affect the verb because the focus is the soldier. These are appendages, additions, which do not matter. The soldier, together with his children, is coming because the soldier is the focus. Another example is English language as well as mathematics dash compulsory. What do you think is the answer? English language, comma, as well as mathematics, comma, of course, is compulsory because it is English that is the focus. Yeah, as well as, when you hear languages like this, as well as, including, together with, it therefore means that the addition does not determine the shape of the verb. So English language is compulsory. It makes sense. It makes sense. Lastly, fighting, in addition to basketball, dash Tony's hobby. Is Tony's hobby or are Tony's hobbies? The answer, of course, is simple in this case. Fighting is what determines the shape of the verb. Fighting is Tony's hobby. The rationale behind this is that the primary subject can as well stand alone to make sense. The primary subject can as well stand without the appendages, without the additional words here, and it will still make a complete sentence. Let's look at the fifth rule now. The fifth rule says, when nobody, anybody, anyone, someone, somebody, no one, none, everybody, etc. are used in a sentence, a singular verb is used. It means when you hear any of these words, someone, nobody, everybody, when you hear any of these words in a sentence, the corresponding verb should be singular. Examples are, everyone dash responsible for the control of the pandemic. Try to answer in your mind, judging by the rule. The answer is. Everyone is responsible for the control of the pandemic. Nobody is going anywhere. Nobody is going to show up for the naughty boy's birthday party. Nobody attracts is. Someone is at the door. Someone is at the door. Even the indefinite pronoun all. The indefinite pronoun all sometimes attracts a singular verb. You can say all is well, all is going to be fine. But in many cases, this singular pronoun attracts a plural verb. When all refers to actual elements, you may put a plural verb. Lastly, we shall look at the sixth rule. I did say we're going to look at 5, but it turns out to be 6. Yeah. The sixth rule is, in a complex sentence, the antecedent of the relative pronoun that acts as the subject of the subordinate clause determines the verb. I know this sounds like complex grammatical jargon. Yeah, but we shall focus on 2 key things. First of all, what is antecedent? And then what is relative pronoun? Once you get the meaning of these two phrases, the antecedent and relative pronoun, you'll find out that the examples are easy. An antecedent is the subject of a sentence which a pronoun tends to replace. The subject of a sentence which a pronoun replaces most often. So what is the antecedent of this first sentence? Tony is one of the boys. Let me clean. Tony is one of the boys. Boys here is the antecedent. Boys is the antecedent because it is boys that you may need a pronoun in the future of this sentence to replace. If I say the boys are, and I then go on to say they are, they is pronoun replacing boys. So boys is the original subject of a sentence. So it is the antecedent. And relative pronoun or pronouns refer to pronouns like who, which. So sentences like who, which, and the rest are called relative pronouns. So it is the antecedent which the relative pronoun refers to that determines the verb. That is what the rule here says. So if the antecedent here is boys, then boys will determine the verb. Boys Tony is one of the boys who were will then be the answer. Tony is one of the boys who were. What determines the verb here? It is this antecedent, which is in plural, boys. Boys were. And this is the relative pronoun. So at the point of seeing the relative pronoun, you need to look back at what the antecedent of the sentence is. Second example, one of the notes which notes here is the notes here, which is plural, is our antecedent, which here is the relative pronoun, and so note determines what comes up here. So this here will be where, because one of the notes which were given to me is dirty. You don't use one to determine the verb. You use the antecedent which comes before the relative pronoun. And in this case, the antecedent is in plural, so the verb will also be in plural. Here, the antecedent, boys, is in plural, so the verb will be in plural. If this here were to be in singular form, then you would have a singular verb. But of course, you can't have it in singular because we are saying Tony is one of. Usually when you have sentences which go like this, one of, the subsequent noun is usually in plural form. We have come to the end of the rules of Concord. I do hope you understand. See you in the next class.